Shalom. Like give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations to you, sincere I can push his word across the four corners of the earth. And just a quick topic I want to get to about why not get on this so-called white man who is Esau in the Bible. And the question why I'm raising this is really not a question, it's a rhetorical question because through the scriptures and through the prophecies and as hopeful elect of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, we know we're supposed to get on Esau, the so-called white man. He's all throughout the scriptures. He's condemned all throughout the scriptures. So I'm gonna start off with Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. So we supposed to remember the days of old. As in, look how Esau did us as a people. Look how he brought us over here into another land. Before that, when we was on those slave ships, look how many of our people died. And that's just documentation. There's no telling how many more people died. Look how he did the Native Americans who are Gad in the Bible. Look how all the peace treaties he broke with Gad. And he straight slaughtered our people. Look how he did our people over there in South and Central America, the Northern Kingdom over there, and over there in the islands, with Benjamin. So we supposed to remember the days of old. And another point I want to get right here about remembering the days of old. This is an article from racistsreport.org, and the title says Sex Forms During Slavery, the Feminization of Black Men. It says, did you know that during slavery, the slaveholders would buy male slaves to engage in forced homosexual sex acts? I'm jump down. These male slaves were purchased based entirely on the prerequisite of them possessing a large penis. Black men were routinely raped by their gay slave owners. The process was known as breaking a buck breaking sex forms. It involves a strapping Negro slave who was defiant, was beaten with a whip till bloody in front of his entire slave congregation. The slave owner would cut down a tree and with the help of the overseer would then pummel the defiant buck into submission. Once a slave was worn down, the master had the other Negro slaves force him over the tree stump where his breeches would be removed and he laid fully exposed buttocks. He would remove his own clothing and proceeded to savagely sodomize the buck in front of his wife, family, friends, and children. In order for his plan to take effect, he would require the buck's male child to watch, front row center, so he too can witness his father's sexual demise and humiliation. So, that's enough right there just to get you stirred up in the spirit, to make you want to curse out Esau and let him know his downfall as a slave in the future kingdom of ours, you know? And not just only Esau, the other nations as well. Well, I'm mainly focusing right now on the Edomites. And why I want to get into about that, because you have IUIC, they really know as the muzzle prophets, because the reason why I say that, because they basically restrain from telling our people the actual truth. They scared to go in details because they 501c3 chartered. I want to get the definition of muzzle. And right here it says a guard typically made of straps or wire fitted over this part of an animal's face to stop it from biting or feeding. And as you can see right here, it shows you how, you have animals with a muzzle on their face, cover them basically from biting or barking. And check this out right here. Synonyms: gag, silence, censor, stifle, restrain, check, curb, fetter. So as in the 501c3, You know, it's a such thing called, the gag order, which was started by this devil right here, Leonard B. Johnson. And this is from an article. The website is called goodhairgary.com. And the title said churches and the 501c3 GAD tax exempt code. And just gonna get into a point, basically just saying how Leonard Johnson silences political speech of the church, which hinders them from speaking out against government social ills by giving them 501c3. So if you 501c3 charter, which is basically a non-profit organization that gains tax exempt status from the IRS, and you come up against the government, you know, they're going to take those goodies from you, that tax exempt status. So basically, it's no different when if you just look at the point of the movie Nat Turner, how they show you when he was in the talking to our people, preaching to them, whatever. You had an overseer right there by him. It's no different today. You have these so-called prophets starting with IUIC. I'm talking about the people that know that they are Israelites. Starting with them, ISUPK also, and you have those overseers over them, Esau. They're watching their videos. And they're making sure they sticking to the doctrine that they want them to push. That's why you have ISUPK and IUIC saying the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast. That's why they're now saying that if they telling their camp, which is I'm talking about IUIC, if they get on Esau, they're gonna shut their camp down because they 501c3 charter. They can't go against the government. If they do so, they're gonna get those goodies taken away from them. And we're told in the law, do not make a contract with this devil. And another thing, a point I want to get into about how they say it's all about Israel. I mean, yes, it is all about Israel, beginning with the elect, but you have to start where this all began from. You have to talk about Esau. And in a movie, you have the protagonist and the antagonist. The protagonist is usually the good guy. He's the main character of the movie. And the antagonist is the person who opposes the protagonist. He's really the bad guy of the movie. So look at it from this perspective. The Most High and his son Yahushua are the directors of the movie. We are the actors of the movie. And Jake, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they are the protagonists of the movie. And you have the antagonist, Esau, the so-called white man, and then you have the other nation. They basically like the extras of the movie, but they still play a significant role. But I'm focusing mainly on Jacob and Esau right now. So you have Jacob and Esau. Jacob is the protagonist, Esau is the antagonist. So you cannot just always just talk about the protagonist without mentioning the antagonist. He's a very important part, and he plays a very important role of that movie. So we have to get on Esau. And why not get on him? Because look at all the wickedness he has done on this earth, and he's still doing it till this date. There's no denying it. So this is a quick point right here. How Yahushua was talking to his disciples at the time about these last days that we about to get ready to come to, we about to approach. This is Luke 21:12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and to prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye should answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries should not be able to gainsay nor resist. So this is Yahushua telling us as the hopeful elect that when Esau come gather us up, when martial law, all that comes along in America, Who are these people right here that is going to be delivering us up to the synagogues before kings and rulers? That's Esau right there. And Yahushua, he's telling you that he's going to put his words in our mouth. And our adversaries, who are Esau and also the other nations, they should not be able to gainsay nor resist. So we're supposed to be ambassadors or followers of Yahushua. That means we're supposed to be in a light mind. He said we're going to curse out Esau. And we're supposed to have that mind frame when we go out there on the highways and the byways, when we push out videos on the internet. There's no stopping it. The only man you see that doing that is the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and the sincere brothers on down. Because Esau knows that he can't put that 501c3 on us. So in other words, he's going to have to put us down. He's going to have to kill us. Because we go out there and we push out the whole truth of the scriptures. And you see IUIC, IUSPK, and these other groups, they can't do that, because if they do, that's where that gag order comes in. I want to get Revelation 22:18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man should add unto these things, adding on, like saying things like, once Esau served us those 1,000 years in the kingdom, he's not going to totally be destroyed. That's false and that's wicked. And you add it on to the scriptures. And I'm talking about these guys shy and try and refine. They're going off by saying that once Esau served us those 1,000 years in the kingdom of heaven, he's going to be totally destroyed, man. There's no doubt about that. It says, if any man should add unto these things, the Most High should add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. If any man should take away from the words of the book of this prophecy by saying that we're not supposed to get on Esau, you know what I'm saying? Saying things of that such. We're going to continue to get on Esau. How about Yahushua Rathasai? And if any man should take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High should take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. And that's the point right there I wanted to make. I'm also going to present another video that's showing how Esau did our people not too long ago, which basically links up with this scripture right here in Deuteronomy 32:7, how it says, remember the days are old. So I'm going to present this video. I hope you brothers be edified. Give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh and Yahushua. Double honors to you, sincere Akim. Shalom.
Is WJTV News Channel 12. That's it.
Concentration camps. People mostly associate the term with Nazi Germany, but historians say it's true. They also existed in America. During the Civil War, authorities in Natchez, Mississippi forced tens of thousands of freed slaves into camps built in what's known as the Devil's Punch Bowl. Jacob Kittelstadt explores this forgotten history this Mystery Monday.
Untouched fruit falls to the ground near the banks of the Mississippi River.
They talk about there's the most beautiful wild peach groves down in the Punch Bowl.
And researcher Paula Westbrook says, like a peach, the area known as the Devil's Punch Bowl has a pit, a mass grave from the 1860s. Historians estimate that in 1 year, up to 20,000 freed slaves died in contraband camps below these bluffs.
When the slaves were released from the plantations during the occupation, they overran Natchez, and the population went from about 10,000 to 120,000 overnight.
So they decided to build an encampment for them at Devil's Punch Bowl, which they walled off and wouldn't let them out.
Don Estes is the former director of the Natchez City Cemetery.
I just put my own tombstone right there. You see Estes?
Learning history's been his life. He says Union troops ordered recaptured black men to perform hard labor.
Straight down right here.
While women and children were all but left to die in the 3 Punch Bowl prisons.
Disease broke out among them, smallpox being the main one, and thousands died. They were begging to get out, turn me loose and I'll go home back to the plantation, anywhere but there. But they wouldn't let them out.
The Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said, bury them where they drop.
And I'd really like to show you more of this terrain, but it's just too thick with greenery. These bluffs are also straight down, so not only is it dangerous to navigate, it's still very mysterious back there.
It's a bed of alligators and snakes. It would take Indiana Jones to get back in there at this point.
Then you come on up washing away bluffs and the Devil's Punch Bowl that has so many people that no one knows how they got killed or when, and they're still down there wasted.
And even to this day, they talk about wild peach trees that come up down there, but no one in Natchez will eat them because they know what the fertilizer was.
Exploring the unexplained on Mystery Monday, Jacob Kittelstead, WJTV News Channel 12.
And historians say even now people might discover old skeletal remains after flooding on the Mississippi. But being on the Natchez Trace, sometimes it's difficult to tell which century those bones are from.